Good morning and welcome in on this Monday morning where we've got a little smattering of rain going on outside. Not heavy, and I think it will be gone in a minute. But welcome in. My name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the UK, and we come in a couple of times a week and we have a little bit of a play. And today is going to be no exception. So what shall we play with today? Now the stamp set that I've got out to play with is this one here called Pretty Parasol. Just going to grab my catalogue, but I think it's still in the other room. But that's okay. So the Pretty Parasol stamp set is one that was launched with the annual catalogue. This year you'll find it in the annual catalogue, but it has a bit of a brother stroke sister in the Under My Umbrella stamp set, because both of these stamp sets will work with, with this umbrella punch just here. So obviously this one, which was the original, you've got your sort of big umbrella shape here, and you've got your sort of closed up umbrella sort of shape here, and your handle, which both work with that. And then with this one you've got this sort of solid background, this pretty patterned one just here, another little pretty one there, some flowers, and these lovely little lacy bits. And you've got a handle with the hook on, and then you've got this sort of straight handle, Morning Caroline, with a little bit of tassel on the end. So to have a play with these parasols, I haven't really quite decided today yet what we're going to do. I've got some thoughts in my head, so let me just wander and get some, I think, gold embossing. We'll have a play with some of that in a little bit. But first of all, we're going to start with, let's start with a little card like this. Let's measure that. And let's make that 10. Yep, it is 14.4. Excellent. And let's have a look and see what these parasols can do. So as I say, we've got a solid image here, and we've also got this patterned image. So what colours shall we have? I suppose it will depend what colours we're planning on wearing out today as to what colours we would want on our parasol to keep the sun from our delicate skin. Haha. Let's go for some purple. Hi Jane. And I think we'll have sort of straight tassel-y handle, and we'll have some lace on it as well. We'll go for this deeper lace. You think? Right. So let me get a block. And let's start with this background image. I'm going to do that in Gorgeous Grape. Let's get our So I'm just having a think. Let's turn this card round because I'm going to cut a piece out of it, I think. So, a gorgeous grape parasol. Like that. So that's our solid background. I'm going to bring in some Blackberry Bliss. Let's swap our stamp on here. Ink that up. And line that up on there. We'll see what this is like. I might do a change of mind on the background colour. That might be a bit too dark. Oh, I don't know, that's quite pretty. Let me just try it once more with a slightly stamped off background and we'll see which we prefer. I'm going to turn the card over. And let's come in with our Blackberry Bliss. Yeah, I think I prefer the slightly paler one. Definitely. Right, I'm going to take my G block and pick up this lace. Now I don't know whether you're going to pick this up. Can you see on that stamp that on the edge here you've got like a line? So you've got your lacy bit that goes across and then you've got a line each side. I'm going to take my Blackberry Bliss ink and stick that on there. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it needs to be that paler one for our parasol. So what we need to do then is we need to line up those lines with the corners, the pointy bits on this parasol. It's not always easy to do when you're trying to work over the top of a phone. Let's see how that's come out. Oh, that's pretty good, isn't it? So what you get then is this sort of effect of a lace border on your parasol, which is really pretty. You could obviously colour that in if you wanted to, or just leave it as a white lacy border. So let's ink up our little handle. And we'll have that coming down there. Just put the lids on those ink pads for a moment so that hopefully we don't stick our elbows in them. Right, I think I'm going to take a rectangle die. Nope, we need to go up a little bit bigger. That one should do it perfectly. Morning, Glenda. Let's cut that out. It will just fit on our bit of cardstock as well, I think. Almost made to measure. out of our die. There we are, you have a nice rectangle die. Let's get a bit of gorgeous grape cardstock. We'll cut that next size up. And we have a nice stitched background. Pretty. I'll cut a bit of white cards, Whisper white cardstock. It's 14.4 by 10. I think we're going to have a gorgeous grape card base. Let me just grab a bit of gorgeous grape card. And let's make our card base. Morning, Michelle. Yes, how lovely that you've caught us live today. Let's score this at 10.5. So there's a card base. We've got a white mat. We've got a background like that. I think I'm going to take this little flower stamp in here that you can use to decorate your parasols. But why not use it to decorate your background? Now, I think we might go for corners. Shall we attempt corners? Let's ink that up. And we'll have a corner there. Let's get rid of some of that excess ink around the edge. Nearly 6 o'clock there. Okay, we're sort of, what are we, 20 past 9 in the morning here. So we're just starting our day. It was just a slight shower of rain as I started, but the sun is coming out. I don't know if you can hear the birds are now singing again. So just building up these little corners with some flowers. Are you a purple girl, Michelle? People have their favourite colours, don't they? When I've been doing face-to-face classes, which obviously I'm not doing at the moment, I do get to know people's favourite colours. I know which ones people are going to go for. That's quite pretty. let's decide which greeting we're going to have, and then that might decide whether you make the day brighter. That would be quite nice on there, wouldn't it? I'm going to go in with Blackberry Bliss for that. I'm going to stamp it this bottom bit just here. Now, it feels as if that wants a little bit of something else. Just deciding what. Excuse me while I'm just digging around, thinking aloud. Well, not thinking aloud, but thinking on the hop. These vellum, square vellum doilies are very pretty. Thinking, let's go to my bright sponges. Let's just sponge a bit of gorgeous grape onto this square vellum doily. Don't need to worry too much about the middle, and I'm not worried that it's sort of more of a it's not a solid colour, it's sort of got slight variations in it. I think what I will do then is take that doily and my scissors and cut it down the middle here. Have a little bit of doily poking out that side. And a little bit of doily poking out at that side. I might add in a bit of lace. Right, let me stick those two together. We put some tear and tape down the base of this mat. Take the back off. Yeah. Pickup tool seems to have gone walkabout. Let's pleat this lace across the bottom. And just sort of pleating it and sticking it to the tape. Nearly there. I think I am going to put a little, I've been umming and ahhing whether it needs a flower in this corner, but I think I am going to put a little flower in this corner as well. When I find my block that had my flower on. There it is. It's on my Simply Chamois. That was nearly a disaster, wasn't it? I did that the other day. Put my block on the wrong way. Dear, oh dear. The brain is getting more and more addled as the days go by, I think. So yeah, I think I'm going to stamp it off. And then we'll add in just some slightly paler flowers. Perhaps do the same in the opposite corner. Okay, so we want this mat to go on our card base. So of course playing with parasols gives me the chance to sort of get all girly and frilly, doesn't it? It's sort of the perfect excuse. So this wants to go sort of split out like that. I think what I'm tempted to do with that is actually take some tear and tape and anchor that down there. And there. Looks very bizarre under here, but once we put our panel on the top, nobody will be any the wiser. So let's pop that on with some dimensionals. obviously this would need a panel inside. You're going to need a bit pearls on that, would you? I think for a parasol, rhinestones would be too harsh. I think we definitely need some pearls on that one. Have a gorgeous grape. Stampin' Blend, but we do have a Blackberry Bliss one. They're going to look too pink. They are, aren't they? I think that's going to make them look a bit too pink for what we want. Let's just go with ordinary pearls, and I think we'll pop some in amongst the flowers. It's got a bent end on this pokey tool. Let's have a couple on our parasol itself. That's a little one down here on the handle. There we are. Gorgeous grape and Blackberry Bliss. Little parasol. So that's one little parasol card done. Now for the other one, I'm thinking rather than colouring the background, we'll use some coloured card in the background. I think possibly sort of pastel shades. Decisions. Let's have So Soft Saffron, Foxy Foam, and I think I'm going to grab some little bits. Let's move that one out of the way. These are my bags that are containing oddments of card. And let's have a bit of So Saffron. Pretty nice ice cream colours, which is just perfect. Ice cream parasols, that seems like a pretty perfect match to me. Right. Let's start. So let's go back to the one we had here that had there were just the patterns on, and I'm going to put some embossing buddy on my card. Just stamp that pattern. As we started, I grabbed the gold embossing powder. There's that gone, it's just here. Let's sprinkle some gold embossing on this. These are going to be high-end parasols. They're going to gold thread. So let's heat that up. And my stamps just out of the way so I don't heat those up, that won't improve them. On the right angle for that, see if that's all gone. I think it has. Not quite in that corner. Okay, so we've got a pretty parasol just there. I'm going to take my punch and excuse me, thank you. Pop that in there. Hi Jackie. Oh, there we go. So we have a gold embossed So Saffron parasol. Now let's go to our soft sea foam, right the first time, and then we'll take this sort of closed up parasol. And again, let's put down some embossing buddy, stamp our parasol, mix that up. That's it. Let's punch that one out. Might have to cut that out a little bit to punch that one out. Needs to come in quite close up here. Let's do that. And then with the petal pink one, I'm going to just punch an umbrella shape, parasol shape. And then I'm going to take our little flower, a bit of embossing buddy on there, pick up some ink, and this flower sort of, if you sit it in the pointy bit just there, get one, and then another, and then we'll add some powder to that. And heat that up. Oh! Stay still. There we go. So we've got some gold on there as well. We might need that again in a minute for our frills and flounces. this little one just here. I think I'm going to take the Petal Pink Dauber and it's not in that pile. My Petal Pink pad. One on a walkabout. No, it hasn't. There it is. Right, I just want to take my Petal Pink pad and I'm just going to put in just a bit of shading around that edge. It'll just help it to pop, and you might not even be able to pick that up on camera, but it is just giving that a bit more depth. And you could, of course, have another thing we could have done, we could have been to emboss that and gave it a little bit of interest that way. Right, we have 3 little parasols here now, so we need to arrange those and we need to find them a background. I'm going to take a bit of shimmery white cardstock. Cut that to 9.5 by 30.9, I think. And then I'm going to take that nice wide fat brush and some Pool Party ink. I haven't got an awful lot of water in it. Let's see if we've got enough to do what we want to do. Just want to give a bit of a watercolour wash down there. I don't want it to be all over. See if we can bring that down to a little bit of a, so it's not quite so flat top and bottom, a bit more of a point. A bit like that. Perfect. Give that a dry. So that's quite dry on that side. Excellent. We've got our watercolour wash. And we're going to want to put our sort of parasols at a bit of angles going on, but I still want to be able to add in their laces and things. So let's find all of those lacy bits. So this is the sort of double lace effect. I'm going to come in with that one last. Change of plan. Where's the little pack gone? Let's come in with this little single lace. So this one is a sort of more narrow one. Let's put down some embossing buddy. Now again, we've got the two little lines at the end here. That's going to match up with the end of our parasol here. I'm just going to stamp that there. And let's gold emboss that. Oops, a daisy. Oh no. You know that lovely card we just made? I've just bathed it in water. So I hope you all had a good look at it first. Because now it's got a very different look to it. Where were we? Morning, Francis. Knocked my glass of water flying. Right, let's just get rid of all the water that's in my lid of my Versamark. Water a plant outside. There we go. Right, so that is a lace for that one. I'm going to take a suede for these handles. Have that one coming down there. That's going to sit on there. We want one about there. So the trim we've got for this one is tassels. So let's add in our tassels. Now we need to make sure they're going the right way and following the curve of the bottom of the parasol, which they are quite nicely. So let's gold emboss those. Get my paintbrush and take off any excess from in there. And I think we'll just stick with the same soft suede handle coming down here. So that's number 1. Number 2, and then this one I'll have about there, I think, and for that one we'll use that wider lace trim. Line up those edges with the edge of our and we'll heat that one up. Let's come in now and stick in. Oh, we just need we haven't got a handle. Get a handle on it, Helen. Should we perhaps start it a bit nearer the top? So little pink, soft sea spray, so saffron. Nice ice creamy colours. Wishing you warmth and sunshine. That's nice, isn't it? I'm going to do that in soft suede as well. Let's give that a petal pink matte. It's rather pretty. I've done funny things on the back of that bit of card, but that's okay. going to pop the lid on this embossing powder so that I don't knock that flying as well. And I think we'll bring in some more of our pearls, and we'll use some bigger ones this time. Actually, this time we could go with dark, so saffron there. I've got dark. And again, that is the petal pink that is eluding me. See, because they're not all put away, because I'm in the middle of using them for things. Well, that's right. If they don't want to be used, we won't use them. I've got dark soft sea foam here, and these are going to be quite subtle colours. And I've got dark so saffron. So these are the subtle colours, so we want them to be quite subtle. I'm going to do 2 so saffron and 1 soft sea foam, and you can see how they are different from the ones next to them. Here. Okay, so the pretty parasol stamp set. We have had to play with lace and gold embossing. Try to see how the other one looks now. This is how we don't want our card to look. Look at that. It was so beautiful. Now it's just soggy. Top tip. Don't tip a glass of water over your cards. It doesn't improve them. By all means do watercolour washes, but not a whole glass. So let's just concentrate on this one. I might redo that one just so that I've got a photo of it to say here's one we also made. But the pretty parasols, it is a pretty little set, and it's something a little bit different to have your parasols rather than umbrellas, but of course you can still use that punch and you can mix and match the two. You can make pretty umbrellas and sort of plainer parasols if you were stamping them out of pretty paper. So thank you for joining me this morning. I will now clear up the tsunami that I have created on my desk, and I'll be back, hopefully a little drier, later in the week.